call, please.
Here.
Mr. Henry Doty, District B.
Here.
Mr. James Green, District C.
Present.
Mr. Derek Green, District D.
Present.
And Mr. Howard Law, District E. Four present, we have a quorum.
Could we please stand for the invocation and pledge, please? Mr. Doty, Mr. President.
God, we thank you for giving us another day. Lord, I ask that you would govern our minds, our hearts, and spirits, to give us wisdom, to do the business of the city of Bastrop. Lord God, I just thank you for everything that you're doing for us in our lives. Then, Lord, I just ask that you would give us the mind, the heart, and the spirit to do what's right for the city of Bastrop. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Salute, pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any public comments as it relates to the matter on the agenda?
Good evening, my name is Charles Bradford, 1320 South Washington Street, getting into the council of Maryland. I'd just like to speak about number 5, Article 24, 42 Main 8, order to establish a solar panel moratorium. If I remember right, other solar panel issue is still in court. And the order was saying, yeah, we all want to discuss the solar panel, anything in the solar panel, it would have to be a court issue. For the county to take action on a moratorium or anything concerning the order that the court had would be in violation, I think, of the court order. But the court order did say that the owners of those properties that already have solar panels here need to maintain them, and if you go by, you can see they're not being maintained. Well, let me make it simple. Why would we want to have a solar panel monitor or anything by solar panel when we already stated, I'm understanding, we don't want them in the city limit period? Not against the people that already have them, not for anybody. Solar panels inside our city limit will be within range of our children, our grandchildren, the future of this community. I feel to put solar panels, you discussed solar panels, but getting anything about solar panels inside this city would definitely, we only 4.5 mile radius. Now, the parish, they have the rules, yeah, they have a lot of land. They don't have solar panels all the time. I don't have anything against parish, but we got to look at the future of this community for a solar panel. Solar panels should be, they in court, any party, I think it's got both the defendant and the plaintiff, the order said, y'all have some come back before the court. You know, the judge would leave it open for either one of the parties to come back. I think any action or anything taken on solar panels in this community, especially one we already had, should be brought before the court. And we should, if we don't, if someone else knew it's trying to come in under another name, we don't even want it. City don't, we did something we've been working with when I was previously on the council. You know, why is, who put that on the agenda? I guess that's my, who's so concerned, because we already have a judgment. Why are we entertaining something that the court got jurisdiction on? The court have jurisdiction on it. They're talking about the ones that's here already and not following court orders, not cleaning them. They look a mess. I had a grandson live. I can go in the bedroom, look out the window, all I see is solar panel drag, and they're complaining about snakes. I mean, maybe we need to make them follow the court order to go ahead and clean up like they're supposed to do. That's the only thing they do, allow them to do. And we should be opening the door for them to come back and apply. Mr. Jones, attorney, somebody needs to be connected with the solar panel. Okay? We do not want that in our community. And I feel that the attorney people get back. Without, who give them authorization to do so, we just attorneys. And the council, I don't know if any councilman put it in my understanding. But let's think this over real clearly, what we're doing, what people trying to get us to do, still do. Okay? I hope that the code enforcement send them a violation, send it to the judge, whoever's going to clean up, to have them clean up since the last judgment. You drive by, you live in the community, I pass it daily, and I see this. If someone is still trying to put solar panels inside the city limit bathroom, put them on the outside. I have no problem with solar panels. It's the location. Inside our community, our businesses, our economic growth, and everything is inside our city. They don't look good. They're not beautification. Well, they're trying to be sitting right. Sitting there in the community, 100 degrees, they drawing in 5 degrees right now. They're not even operating. You go there, take your mom over there, the temperature is higher than it is over on the west side. 5 degrees, because the family that's not operating, they still sucking in, even though they're not operating. Appreciate a discount, take no action or table it or just say, look, this is something we're going to consider of our citizens would want. It's not a big job, economic. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Resolution paid. It's public comments as it relates to the matter on the agenda.
We move past that.
Yeah, we have to. To this, so that's what you're gonna talk about?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not anticipated on the agenda? Is there anything on the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to we extend the agenda at this point of the agenda.
Make a motion for that, Councilman.
What I'm asking,
You gotta make a motion.
is that not what I said? I'd like to make a motion to vote to expand the agenda for items that are not on the agenda.
I second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
I'm sorry.
Yes, Mayor has to go to social media.
Before we do that, can you pull that up?
Yeah,
Can you read that right now, please?
And while you research it,
Councilman,
point of information,
Councilman Rick
Hey.
Graham.
we didn't come in for no trickery and all of that. I'm gonna make a statement before we even get started. I already know where you're going, Attorney Jones. I've been down this road before. So, at the last meeting, Ricky Smith, Policy Director, he stated that anytime a councilman wants something on the agenda, it has to be on it. So ain't nothing on this agenda but what the administration wants. Now, he sent a list up here and asked for it to be put on the agenda. So this shouldn't even be an expansion to the, expanding the agenda.
Councilman
Now, am I right, Attorney Smith?
J. Green.
Uh,
On information to.
well, can you answer my question then? I'm asking, how do you know if it's germane or not?
But if it's a question to what we got, you can't just be making statements.
Do you know what germane means?
Question and answer.
Hold it. Point of information. You the attorney. We gonna abide by the rules, let's abide by the rules. Attorney Jones, you haven't spoken when spoken to. Because you're not the parliamentarian.
Giving legal advice to council. Which is in the
Can you speak into your mic, preferably?
So I was, all I was doing was giving you legal advice, which is keep us consistent with the charter. It says that no business except that specified in the call shall be transacted at the meeting except by unanimous consent of the mayor and board of aldermen. So all I was asking was that if it's all in favor, be sure that we have everybody's vote recorded. That's it. I was just announcing the laws. So that our record reflects it, so we don't have any business transacted that is not proper.
Mr. Mayor.
It's in section 40.
Councilman Doty.
Mr. Jones, can you read what, tell us what section of the charter you're speaking about? And can you, hold on, can you also, can you get that printed out so we can have a look at it right now? Because again, if we're talking about legal issues, it's okay to speak about it, but I'd like to have it in front of us so we can read along what you're reading. Because there could be some contradictory evidence that states something different. So again, if you can you get that printed out for us? Is there a way we can get that printed out?
Correct. It's in our charter, and
Uh-huh.
we're all presumed to know the charter, but I will read the specific provision. I can provide the computer that shows it. Printing it, I don't have a printer. It's section 14.
It's in there.
And it says, no business except that specified in the call shall be transacted at the meeting except by unanimous consent of the mayor and board of aldermen. We had this issue come up underneath previous administration. We've had this come up before. And so that's why I just said, let's just make sure that we have the record reflect that everybody has consented, because expansion of agenda is an item that is heavily regulated by the state and by our charter. So we want to make sure that we get there properly. That's all.
Point of information. Attorney Jones, I'm not arguing that point. I know the chart. I know what it says. I just think I said I knew where you was going about unanimous vote. But what I'm saying is, that's not my point. My point is, you just can't put what you want on the agenda. The council members, this is our meeting also. If a council member requests something to be on the agenda, it shouldn't have to be expanded. It should be on the agenda. Now, I'm gonna ask point of information from attorneys Ricky Smith, policy director Ricky Smith, because he stated that last month, because I said, you sure? He said, yes. So, yes, sir. Point of information to you.
Yes, that is correct. I'm not sure if Mr. Doty, you did submit some documents, and I think it was in the form of either a request for information or a request to put on the agenda. And I believe it was forwarded to Attorney Jones. I'm not sure if you and Mr. Jones had a dialogue, but Ms. Green answered your question. That is correct, because this is your meeting. And I think y'all had adopted a specific rule that says whether or not any other council member can add something to the agenda once it's called by a specific council member. But again, any item on the agenda that's either special or a regular meeting, each member has the right to add any item on the agenda. It's just, y'all have to determine whether or not the special call, whether or not each individual have the right to add something that hadn't been confirmed or, consulted with whoever calls the meeting. So that, I'm gonna answer your question, that's it. Correct.
And just I'm gonna finish my part. So this was a meeting that we had kind of agreed to on the 20th. That's why we came up with this date. Well, the mayor was not gonna, we talked about two different issues.
Yeah, Mr. Doty called the meeting. So essentially to go along with what you were talking about last meeting about special call meetings. If y'all follow that practice and protocol amongst yourselves, Mr. Doty called the meeting. So any item that any other member will want to put on the agenda, they needs to be discussed with Mr. Doty or whoever called the meeting to be added or not, bring it to the meeting, and it has to be added by unanimous consent. So that's distinction that is only applies to you all if you apply it to yourself. But again, I agree. I mean, and I say I agree, but Mr. James Green did make a point to where if the members wanted to follow that protocol for a special meeting, you all can. But any regular special call, any regular meeting, you can add whatever item, whether it's an action item or a discussion item on the agenda. you just probably need to make that request in writing and probably send it to the administration and make sure that Mr. Jones gets it.
I have a question. Councilman Lee Green? Yeah, I guess my question might be just for clarity. I'm not sure who to ask point of information to, but I wanna know, I guess who responsible for putting items on the agenda? The reason I ask, because I know we had somebody to come once or twice, speak about not being added to the agenda, so whom that person that asks a point of information to, how they handle the procedure, and someone is to the agenda.
Well, when individuals come, we have a form, that the speaker or whoever wants to be put on the agenda fills it out. And that, in turn, if they meet the deadline for, that, they'll be added to the agenda. Anything else from a council member, I mean, my recommendation is to, probably reach out to the mayor, and make that request directly to the mayor. And the mayor will make sure that it gets, because, Mr. Jones primarily, drafts the, agenda. I put input whenever I can, or some specific things, that, I'm dealing with that I need to put on the agenda. Of course, I'd say put this on the agenda, X, Y, Z, but, there hasn't been an established protocol, but like anything else that's not established protocol, I mean, my advice is just deal directly with the administration and contact the mayor, especially with the councilman's request. But again, that special meeting, that's just something y'all would have to, have a gentleman's or gentlelady's agreement to follow, because we can't force that upon you all. But again, like Mr. James Green said, that it's probably would be a courtesy if y'all develop that policy. So if you call a meeting, talk to me if you want to add something to the meeting I call. And then that protocol should be, contact the mayor, say, I want to call a meeting, and this is what I want.
So, Lee Green? Wait, yeah, so typically, I guess, I don't know if my question's answered, typically it goes to,
Well, Mr. Jones prepares primarily, but any, person from the community, they have a form they fill out, speaker's agenda. And I think, Mr. Doty, you may have done that, which you don't have to do.
Right.
But that's the form that the community will fill out. It's the deadline attached to that as well.
appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor.
Doty?
Thank you for those comments, Mr. Smith. Listen, the reason why I put it on the speaker's agenda, is I wanted to make doubly sure that those items got on the agenda by way of already putting it on the agenda, or if not put on the agenda, then I would have it already on the speaker's agenda. So I should have been doubly covered. So here in section 2, unless there is something different I did not see, section 2 of the charter, talking about special call meetings. No business except that specified in the call shall be transacted at the meeting except by unanimous consent of the governing body. Listen, there are two distinctions. You have a governing body and you have a governing authority. This says, section 2 says governing body. Who would be the governing body?
That's a question for the attorney. My interpretation, governing authority, governing body, I think it's synonymous with one another. Is either one of them refers to the council and the mayor, and one of them probably refers to just the, either the council or the administration separately. I don't know, I haven't done enough, research in there. But again, the call is what Mr. James Green was talking about. So if you make the call,
Right.
and again, that speaker's agenda is not for you, Mr. Doty.
Right.
You're a member of the council. Your discussion items are items of the agenda.
Well,
That speaker's agenda is for the public to address things outside of making public comment.
let me interrupt you real quick, Mr. Smith. Listen, again, the reason why is because there was a short turnaround for when we were at the meeting And then when we voted to have the special call meeting, again, you have to allow time for items to be placed on the agenda. I knew it was gonna be a quick turnaround. So again, with the mayor out of town and with Mr. Jones being in community, again, I'll wait till he come back to make that comment. But again, the bottom line is section 2, the charter is talking about governing body. You also have a section where you talk about the governing authority. Who runs the city? Who takes care of the day-to-day operations of the city?
That's the administration.
That's the administration. So that pretty much would be the authority,
Governing authority, yes.
governing authority. So we're talking about now the governing body. So I would think that would be a little bit different.
It's a difference. I just, Mr. Jones probably could, articulate that a little better. But I don't want you to not understand the call.
Right,
And that's what I think Mr. Green, Jay Green was talking about in the other meeting. Whenever you call a special meeting, you should probably, just as a practice, have every item that you anticipate talking about to be in your call when you make the call for the meeting. Because that way you won't get anything lost in translation.
Point of information, because I think we talked about two different things. We talked about a special call meeting, I know the charge pretty well. We talked about kind of two different sections, but my thing about it is, I'm referring back to a council member going up and requesting something to be on. Because I know if you gotta add to the agenda, you know, pretty much special meeting, you're gonna go through the roll call. But it shouldn't even have to be like that, because first of all, we having this meeting because the administration, go back and look at the tape, said about the department heads and the mayor's gonna be out of town. So we came up with this date, but some kind of way, we ended up meeting a regular meeting before this meeting. But this meeting was already supposed to happen because Attorney Devin Jones said that they was too busy to put the appointments and stuff on the other meeting. It would be on the August meeting. That's why the mayor was going out of town. That's why he set this meeting. That's what I was under the impression that we was gonna have the meeting on the 20th about this, and I'm not all sure what Councilman Doty put on the agenda. I'm just saying, everybody always know how to be for what's right, regardless of who it is, was the mayor of the council. It's not right for a person to come up and request something to be on the agenda, and because you don't like it, you don't put it on here. But you put everything that you want on here. That's not the way to go. Put it on the agenda, and then it's gotta come up for a vote. It don't matter. You can't run and hide. You can't duck and dodge. So, Mr. Doty, let me finish, because I think they couldn't deny you the right to put it on the agenda. But what I'm saying, it should never come to a vote because it don't fall under that category. You didn't put it on here, the man requested it to be on here. Y'all just failed to put it on the agenda. It's not like it's a new item that comes up. This should have been on the agenda. I see that we didn't forget to put these resolutions on the agenda. But that's what the administration wanted. But a councilman wanted, I don't even know what he wanted. But I'm for what's right and what's fair. If a person requests something to be on the thing, let's be fair. Put it on here. I'm in awe as to what's going on, because these are fights that don't even have to happen. This is self-inflicted wounds. Make us just look like we always up here bickering and can't come together. This is wrong. I don't know who advised the mayor this, but this is wrong. And he know I always been by him and in his corner, but I'm gonna tell you, right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't know why these appointments are not on here, because Attorney Jones been an attorney for 3 or 4 years, and every year we've had the appointments. First of all, last year, this is the second year. I don't know what come about something, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. Well, why didn't we do it the first year? Kind of frustrated because hey, we agreed when we first ran, everybody got together, everybody's gonna work together and do what's in the best interest of the city of Bastrop. And now it's a big divide for no reason. This is unacceptable and it's just, it's mind-boggling. And I'm upset because this does not have to be like this in the city of Bastrop. And I don't know where it's coming from, but, and I don't know nothing about what Councilman Doty requested, but I'm just saying in all fairness, if I request something, any council member, go up and take the time out to write something up, whether you agree with it or not, it should be on the agenda. But right now, you come up with a slick curveball with knowing that everybody got to vote on it. So if you don't ever put nothing I want on there, and I got to come up here and expand the agenda, but the administration don't want it, then if the mayor reject it, it'll never get on the agenda. Do that make any sense? So if you don't never like something, just don't put it on the agenda. Wait and make us expand the agenda and have the mayor to veto it. That's the problem. We ain't, that's not a rabbit hole I'm willing to go down. But we're elected officials. Now, I guess nobody grasped what I just said. If the administration, if I go request something and they don't put it on the agenda, and then when I get here, I try to expand the agenda, and they veto it, it'll never get on the agenda. Let that sink in.
Councilman Doty,
Mr. Jones, can you tell me where you're reading this from again, please?
That's from the charter.
Okay, well, I'm also reading from the charter. And I'm reading in section two. Section two. Section two, talking about, 2-22, 2-21, 2-22. No business except as specified in call shall be transacted at the meeting except by unanimous consent of the governing body. I'm not sure where the divide is, or if there's two different orders.
2-25, let me see which one we got, because the charter prevails over ordinance. Charter's like the Constitution. So, let me go there.
And why you looking at that, Mr. Jones? Real quick, in that, it did
It
not
doesn't
give,
actually say the same thing, it say the governing body.
it says governing body.
Your governing body includes
Listen, who's the governing body?
the mayor sits as the chair of the council and brings resolutions.
Listen, again,
Now, he can't vote on ordinances and other things like that, but he's chairperson. But he is that.
okay, so you're saying,
But,
Yeah.
but that's,
hold on, hold on, just one quick second. I don't want to lose my place. Are you saying that the governing authority and the governing body is the same? And again, we're making these distinctions so that we can be clear, going forward. There needs to be no ambiguity of what we're designed to do and what the mayor is designed to do. Again, there should be no fight, and it is no fight, but we're just trying to get some things straight and get it settled. Because I don't want to have to come back meeting after meeting, sometime in the future, and have to have this discussion.
so in the hierarchy of it, like the Constitution spells out your general rights. Your Constitution in this place spells out your general rights. And the thing that you can have is that your charter acts as constitution, ordinance acts as law, okay? So your charter says that has the specific provision in it that says that in order for there to be additional items added to a call, a special call meeting, out of section 14, you have to have unanimous consent of the mayor and board. That's where it's spelled out. Your ordinance, if in conflict, is hierarchy laws. If your law conflicts with the Constitution, what happens? You lose. Because you can't have law that conflicts with the Constitution. Same thing as ordinance. You can't have ordinance that conflicts with the charter. However, I believe all those provisions that are on Unicode, the reason is they haven't been updated since 2023. Those specific ones, we actually amended a lot of those in the adoption of the electronic meetings and the act that gave everybody the speaker agenda. We adopted all the regulations. I had to check to see if they were in, because they have not been, Unicode has not been updated since 2020.
So when was the charter?
The charter was passed in '60.
Saying when was it updated? When did it update?
That we have to charter all kinds of required legislative process. You have to, do the governor and
And
everything.
when was that particular section updated?
That section, I can show you, of the ordinances, let me put it there. So we did it back, we introduced in 23, we adopted in 22.
Hey,
Okay, so let me finish here. So with all that being said, now it comes to the point, who made the decision to deny the request? Because again, if you're saying that the only way somebody gets to know whether or not they are denied or accepted for a request to speak is by coming to the meeting, then that presents a problem, a whole nother problem. Listen, I am a city serving council member. I would think that if I made a request and it was not going to be honored, then I specifically should have been notified, since I was the one as a councilman making the request. That didn't happen. So again, you're just the legal advisor, right? So who made the decision to deny the request coming to the agenda?
yeah, and just to piggyback off there, because
No, that needs an answer.
I want to speak on
I'm
that.
just legal advisor.
Yeah, I need an answer from the mayor.
Everything gets sent to Mrs. Jones to get put on. But from this day forward, I will look at everything that's being sent and, if go on there, it can, if it can't, it can't. Or if we can't talk about something, we can't talk about it. Councilman D. Green.
It's still kind of bothering me a little bit, and I'm just, speaking from my seat that if Mr. Doty did his due diligence by adding items on the agenda, it's not on the agenda, then here we are with items on the agenda. So what do? Do we ignore Mr. Doty to tend to this? I don't think it's fair. So we sit up here all the time and talk about working together. This right here is like a conflict. I can't speak for everybody, I speak for me, but, I try to work for everybody. And fair is fair. So if anybody don't consider this being fair, this is,
I have something. Whatever we do, and I hear people say we're not working together, but we have to be on one accord. And at no point in time do we need to ignore the request of any council member. I just think it's a matter of respect
not any councilman, anybody.
for anybody.
Yeah, Councilman Doty, that's true, for not being on there, but at the same time, y'all talk about working together. And I did everything but being on the backwards. It's always something, it's 3-4 hour meeting, it ain't called for. I'm not talking about all council. Everybody wanna put everybody on the spot. We have probably investors who wanna come, like you say, the camera's on, it's a whole lot of politics. We come here to do city business, that's to handle city business and move forward. My goal is an open door policy, you have a number, you come to my house. All of this that we talk about do not have to come in a city council meeting. When we talk about a lot, when we see each other a lot, when the doors are open in my office all the time. Everything I say is work with the council. And it hasn't been going the way it's supposed to go, but the next thing to fix anything. We need to stop pointing fingers, work together for the community, that's what we got elected to do. Hiccups happen, mistakes happen, or if it just happen. just said, it will never happen again. If it come before I was set it up, whoever want to get on the agenda, it come to me. To Mr. Jones, to put it on, and to be on. We apologize. I just apologize to them. It ain't no fix of dragging it and keeping the meeting along. We just did that. Councilman Doe, I apologize. And I will get you the information you need. We are all grown people up here. Grown, got an elected official by the community of this city, this body. We are the government body. We need to be leaders for people that's watching. We gotta be leaders. If we ain't leaders, why you think they doing all this fighting, shooting in the community? It ain't all of us, but we can make ourselves better together. I can do everything I can for this. I'm giving it just to see. I mean, anything y'all wanted, I have did. I have stretched my hands out. It ain't nobody up here saying I haven't did what they asked me to do, or you brought something to me. I'm not gonna act out of character if that's what you're trying to get. But I will explain myself today in just time.
Point of information. Made a statement. Say what you made. I got a point of information. We talking about working together, right? There's no problem. Now, I'm gonna be real particular with my words, real careful. Now, when I said, I'm asking the reason because you got 1099 employees. Now, say we're gonna work together and all this, and nobody's done anything. It's a problem. Accountability creates hostility, and that's not right. I got a problem with when you got 1099 employees, the contracts ends, and the attorney said that we was gonna put it on this meeting, and we moved this meeting to this date because you and I talked about the 20th. Because we was going, and Attorney Jones said that they was gonna do the appointment on today. Go back and look at the tape. So nobody is upset. You say you do what we asked to do. Only thing I ask is why is there? What about the appointments? I mean, is there a reason? Yeah, let me fix it. Well, okay, you can't arbitrarily decide that you don't want to put appointments up. So you got 1099 employees, which are contracts. You know what 1099 is? They're contractors. So you got people that we paying, they're contractors, and they don't even have a contract. Because I'm not sure how that works. And last time we did the contract, we never really seen them. So that's what I'm saying is we've been appointing them, and I want to know from a legal, who advised the mayor that he didn't have to do it? Because the mayor just got in office. He just did it. And I've worked hand in hand with him. I've never heard of this. By not appointing people, Attorney Jones. You remember when you first got appointed during Betty Alfredona's administration? You remember that?
Yeah.
When Mr. Bradford told you to leave and go take a seat over there because you was not, they had not appointed you yet? You remember that?
Yeah.
So my thing is, what changed between now and then? And so if we don't have to have people do contracts, so we can just arbitrarily just say, hey, 1099 employees, we don't have to worry about their contracts. I'm not talking about regular employees. You can read between the lines and find, but we said we weren't gonna do this. Remember, I worked together. When we first got together, we weren't gonna have these problems. But now, you said it out your mouth, because you decided not to put them up for nomination. So my thing to Mr. Jones, what are we gonna do about the contracts? As the legislative body, what do we do about contracts? I guess you're gonna say open in also.
You know, as I understood the night that we go through to vote on it, I'd have to review them, but as I understand, they have ongoing provisions in there that provide for them not a set date to expire.
Oh, so hold on, Mr. Jones. You mean tell me you can sign a contract without an expiration date?
100%.
Okay, so we'd be in the council. And that year passed, so your contract must have said that.
I never have a contract with the city. I don't have that contract with the city.
You're 1099 employee?
1099 doesn't require a contract, means you're independent.
So you're independent, you're
contractor, right?
No, contractor is a lay term for it. You are considered an independent worker. When you're an independent worker, it comes down to underneath the IRS rules, whether they provide the tools, the assets, resources, dictate the hours, dictate any stuff, and it's an actual test for it. But you can pay as anybody, you can pay them underneath what is called 1099 provisions. The scope and duties for which I was confirmed are spelled out in there. The provisions for pay are just as anybody else, they're with the executive person as long as it's budgeted.
So you saying that when we nominated you, and when the mayor nominated you, so you can work as long as you want to at the city of Bastrop, but you saying that we can't redo your contract?
No, because you nominated an attorney. And there is no provisions, the city attorney, the charter spells out the duties of the city attorney. And in order to, as the legislative body to cut that down, you'd have to amend the charter to delineate out what those are. Every person who acts as an attorney on behalf of the city is a city attorney. It's actually an opinion from whenever my appointment came through, there's an attorney general's opinion, you could call it a prosecutor attorney, but at the end of the day, they're all city attorneys. It's just the administration has the ability as the chief operating officer, the chief executive officer to delegate duties. If there's multiple city attorneys, you could delegate duties between those. That's what that attorney general's opinion says for 2020.
You getting off track. I understand that dual role. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the appointment process. Because you went through it like 4 times, 3 times.
Correct.
And let me finish. Mind you, since you want to take the gloves off, mind you, I was a stench ally.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, so, and I never dreamed that you would get up here and say some of the things that I'm kind of appalled. Yeah, because you never ever gave me one inclination that you would say that you would advise this mayor that he would not have to reappoint people. I'm just disappointed.
Did I say that I advised him he had to?
Can you correct the record, please? Say what you said.
I said, did I ever say that I advised him not to?
Can we move on with the meeting, please?
No, sir. I'd like
I
to
never said.
Dribbling like, on stand.
Mayor,
Let me finish, sir.
Okay.
Let me finish. I don't care what nobody says. I got the right to ask questions, and I'm going to ask questions. Just like I did with Betty Alfalata was up here. Right, wrong was wrong. So I looked at one contract, it ended on the 30th. So how does that work?
What particular contract was that?
I'm not gonna call an employee out.
I can't tell you about a contract I haven't seen that I can't reference.
All right, well, if it ended on the 30th,
You said it ended on the 30th, then I guess it would end on the 30th, if that's what you're saying, but I can't speak to that specific contract, I'm just going off what you're saying.
so I got my answer. You said it was the mayor, didn't wanna, and you say you about the advisory part, so just kind of baffled. I can understand about the regular department heads. I was talking about the contracts.
Contracts are just really gonna dictate down to, if a contract expires, it expires. No doubt about it. If a contract expires, it expires, and you got an expired contract, your contract's done when it's dead, right? If there's a provision in there that says that, hey, it's due to expire and, it's set for a year, you can have terms, we've seen that before, where there's terms like, hey, but if you don't cancel by this, then it'll continue on.
It is.
And so those provisions can exist. I don't know what specific one you're asking about. If you tell me that the specific expiration on it says a very specific date with no language that says it's continue on unless notified that it's canceled, it will continue on, then that can happen. I'm just I'm trying to confine my answer so I don't guess. Based on the specific thing you told me, if it directly says, yes, it cancels on this date, yeah, it's canceled, 100%. That's it. I mean, I'm not trying to dance around with you, play with you, do anything. I don't know which contract you're referencing. So
I get it.
if we're doing it,
Hey, Mr. Jones, let's cut to the chase. I know what's going on. I mean, remember, I was with you when we was with the last administration, so, hey, already.
tell me which one I pulled up.
I don't play them games.
I'm not for you.
I see what the direction is taking now. And I'm glad that people have exposed their hand.
Anyways, I'm not playing a game with you, but you gave me a fact scenario. The specifics you had. If you tell me which one, I can probably pull it up on my computer.
Councilman Doe?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Listen, let me back up just a few minutes. Listen, nothing we do at the city of Baton is personal, and I'm gonna speak for myself. There's nothing I come up here and do out in the community as Councilman Doty is personal. I don't have to come up here and yell, scream, act out of character, or none of that. But because we have disagreements, I'm not gonna label that as not working together, because that's what a group of people that work together, that happens. I don't care what kind of organization you're talking about. There are always agreements and disagreements and things to be worked on in any organization. So let's get more specific. Again, with the contract situation you're talking about, and I'm gonna be very brief on that. There are contracts that do have an end date. So what happens is if the contracted employee continues to work outside of that contract, then what you do is you inadvertently, or it could be intentional, I'm gonna say inadvertently, you bind the city to that contract. And basically what you're saying is you take the power out of the council's hand. There are always mechanisms in the law that will support the mayor's priorities and objectives, and there are also mechanisms in the law that will support the council. So that's why, again, we're supposed to come up here and work together. Again, the council can create something that says in writing. We can do resolutions or we can change the ordinance. The council has that priority, again, to add to what's already existed on the books when it comes down to ordinance or when it comes down to the charter. So let there be no mistake. Just because something is in the law today does not mean it can't be changed tomorrow. And this is not so we can benefit either the council or the mayor, but it is what it is. Whatever laws are on the books, that's what I'm going to abide by, whether that puts me in a good position or not. But let me be clear, once again, I do not come up here for any shape, form, or fashion. I don't work against anybody. I work within the bounds of my job. Again, this contract, it states that the end date is June the 30th of 2025. Just hold on for 1 second. It also says that termination, either party may terminate this agreement for any reason within 30 calendar days of written notice. In the event of termination, contracts shall be compensated for services performed through the date of termination. It also says this agreement shall remain in effect until June 30th unless extended or terminated earlier. Earlier, that would be, I would suppose that would mean before June the 30th, unless extended or terminated earlier in writing by either party. So again, when a contract goes beyond the specified date on that contract, what position does that put us in? And that is a question to you, Mr. Jones.
So, based on what you told me, you have an expiration of a contract. The question becomes, do you have an expiration of a contract on somebody who is a title official? It was confirmed as an official. That's a compensation contract. Because you have a state law that says there's a holdover provision, okay? Officials who are confirmed unless they resign or suspended. Exact language. They continue in that spot.
When you say officials,
Officials are like your department heads, city
oh,
attorney.
no, we're not going there. We're just talking about the appointed, the department heads do not fit into the category that you, Mr. Ricky, and some of the other appointees fall into.
So a city attorney is an official. City attorney is an official. There's certain lists of officials that are recognized by the charter. One, which is, that's why I said if I knew which one it was,
Do you work by contract?
do I work by contract? I do not have a contract. I work.
Okay,
by duty
so,
of authority.
so is this a memorandum of understanding? Is that the same as a contract?
That's similar to a contract in regards, it's not, it's an understanding of what you will perform and what they will compensate you for.
Okay, so again, with a memorandum of agreement, you're saying now that it's different from a contract.
Well, it acts as a contract. You have to go through the same thing. It's a memorandum of understanding between two parties on what the compensation will be. It acts as a contract for all intents and purposes. There are some little things down the way that you do.
Well, I need a much more clear answer if you can. Listen, if
You can tell
memorandum,
me what party it's in regards to. I can tell you.
okay, I'm looking at the contract. Again, this is by no means reflect on the job performance of anybody we're talking about. But since we are here and we're talking about it, listen, contract for Mr. No. The contract, because it's here in the contract with, you have employee, contract, independent contractor that has, he does not have the same duties that a regular city, not duty, but he does not have the same entitlements that a regular city employee would have. Is that a true statement?
Depends on if he's performing city official duties. And that's where I'm trying to take you. You're talking about the title of who they were confirmed as a city official, okay? Ultimately, which is certain things, clerk, tax collector, city attorney. Those are all what we call officials, okay? Those officials, whether they have a contract for the ultimate compensation that they do, okay? Those officials, unless they resign or they're suspended, continue in their office per Louisiana law until their subsequent appointment. It's called, in that law is there so that you don't have gaps in the thing. And we've had that issue. So what you have right there is if that is related to the compensation of an official, okay? Then what you have is you have a lapsed compensation agreement and scope of duties. But they're still an official. It's a bifurcated. If they were confirmed as an official with a compensation agreement and scope of services they worked out with the administration to do. Okay?
Okay, so I'll go back to my original point real quick, and once I say this, you can let him go. I made a request that we vote on whether to add these items to the agenda. My original request stands, and I'd like for us to take a recorded vote.
I would, where is it? I came back one.
What's
Go ahead, just go ahead. Put it on.
I need him to push.
Councilman
Well, I just had a question kind of confused me because I actually thought, I was under the impression that you was on the contract. The reason I'm asking because if we have a public work director. They'll be on payroll, they won't be in bills of claim. Just like previous attorneys that's on payrolls, paid not in bills of claim. You're paid bills of claim. So now you confuse me by saying you're not on contract. So I want to know now how, because
say, some stuff I just gotta ask questions. Because now I wanna know, how do you come up with the figures you come up with when we pay you every month, not contract? Cause then it's not hourly, because then it won't be on bills of claims. Cause that's what because like when,
So how it comes up with this is the administration determines the amount of compensation.
how is it determined?
How is it determined? That's within the administration.
So, at least, see, it gets to the point that you put on administration, and then, then I hate, then I hate to have to turn to the right, and America, because, you know, I don't want America to feel like it's a shot at America. But then also you sit here and you say that you're not a contract, but you getting paid as if you're on contract.
Being paid as an independent worker. That's the actual tax term.
So you pay as indigent workers to do what?
To do,
How is you getting paid?
to do duties.
But how?
I pay.
So when you build a city, how are you building the city?
I build a
Based
city.
on what are you building the city on?
I build the city for the flat rate for the civil, and I build the city by the hour for anything that's outside of that.
But any other employees, just say for example, the city attorney just on payroll, then how are they building the city?
How are they building the city? They're building the city by the amount of hours that they work, and the compensation is determined per the hour.
So, but you're not getting paid,
I'm not getting paid that way.
so it's not a contract.
Hmm.
So it's not a contract?
No, because technically right now, if I
What did
submitted,
what did we do, when you came with, when Mayor, recommend you, what did we vote on?
y'all voted to confirm me as city attorney. Just as you voted to confirm Mr. Smith and Mr. Pierre.
So is you getting paid like Mr. Pierre?
I'm not getting paid like Mr. Pierre. But what I can tell you is this, I spend invoice, there's no agreement. Mayor can look at the invoice and say, hey, I don't think that's good.
So in the moment, we could just say, hey, we don't want to need you.
No, you would have to go through the process that's spelled out in the charter to get rid of a official.
We said it again?
You'd have to go through the same process in the charter to remove an official.
But how though? But you're not tied.
Because
So you're not contracted, nor are you on payroll. So how are you tied to the city besides the vote?
I can explain it to you again. I'm a city official. You confirm me as a city official.
I get that, boy.
I'm paid as an independent worker under those provisions of our regs.
So at the end of the year, what did the city do?
1099. That's called, that is an independent, that is what is called an independent worker. That people often refer to as subcontractor or contractor, but it's the thing is it's the actual test for it is an IRS test for whether you are an independent employee or one that is a hourly wage employee or a salaried employee.
At this moment, if it's high. So when you said that, it just made me ask the question.
Yeah.
The mayor, just the mayor, this is what he want, I understand, but I honestly thought that you was contracted out, but it's good to hear that now, because now I want to look over the contract as well to see, because I thought you was a contract, I thought you
And
wanted.
there was particular reasons why.
I was wondering why it was different this year than the previous administration.
No, the previous administration's always been like that. Never had been.
Never got one.
Never had a contract I've never had a contract for compensation. It's always been up to if there's budget.
Okay, you see, I just had, that's all the question. Okay.
Mayor, appreciate, having that discussion, because, again, you understand that when I decided to run for this job, I didn't decide to run for a time. Every business we have to transact, sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 4 hours. And we try to do the best we can when we come up with it. But I can tell you for sure that Councilman Doty is not in a race. Councilman Doty is not in a race for time. So that should even be a part, really a part of this discussion, is because when business has to be had, that's the bottom line, it has to be had. So again, what I will do, because I want to move on from this. And this is not like some of this can't wait. I will withdraw my request, but what I will let you know is that this will be coming back to the next agenda. Because again, I don't want to sit here, and I don't want to make it look like we're having some type of fight, because we're not. We're having a disagreement about an issue that affects the city of Bastrop. And that's what we're supposed to do. Where sometimes issues, they have to be talked out. I don't get the part about the fighting. I'm not up here fighting anybody. I'm up here fighting for issues. That's what I'm up here fighting for, issues. So again, I will withdraw my request. But again, I withdraw my motion. I apologize. I will withdraw the motion to add these items to expand the agenda.
I have a comment.
You don't do it.
It was never, yeah.
I have a comment.
Lady Tappan?
I just want to say each elected official has a responsibility to the people. We may not agree on everything, but we still have a responsibility because we are spending taxpayer dollars. We all want transparency. That's what we work for. That's what we work toward. But we have to have a check and balance system, or else we have a dictatorship.
Move to, resolution number 4, resolution, adopt resolution 26-2142. Good afternoon, Madam Pro Tem members. This is a resolution, should have a copy of it, on the desk. This is a resolution to approve, to advertise for bids, at the airport. There's a drainage and utility relocation project and a 5-year, capital improvement plan. I've been in communication with the, engineer. This is one of the things that need to get started on that. Also, if you notice in the resolution, the, capital improvement plan for the, Morehouse Memorial Airport included. This project, over the next 5 years is gonna, see an investment of $1.6 million to the airport. And just wanted to be known that this project is fully reimbursable through the FAA and DOTD. So this project and this investment in the airport, it's not going to cost the city any money, but it's going to improve the airport infrastructure to the tune of $1.6 million. So I ask for your passage resolution so the project can go out for bid and be underway.
I think that was actually very well said. But if anybody does have any questions? Yes, sir.
Councilman Doty.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I missed some of what, Mr. Smith said, at the very end. Can you repeat that, or you can have him?
This is, this project, the capital improvement, plan for the airport is a 5-year plan. That's gonna see an estimated investment size cost of the tune of a little more than $1.6 million. This project is fully reimbursable through the Federal Aviation Administration and Louisiana Department of Transportation. So this project will not cost, the city of Bastrop any, tax dollars or funding. So this investment, improvement in this, the airport to the tune of $1.6 million, is fully funded by the FAA and the DOT.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I know,
Councilman Taylor?
Mr. Smith said it is fully reimbursable. So have we already started the paperwork to, get reimbursement?
The,
We've started the paperwork for receiving that.
so the way this is gonna work is, like I alluded to, in several meetings when we're talking about, one-time money, is that moving forward, these type of projects, when the work is performed and the invoice is submitted, we're gonna submit it to the FAA and the DOTD, get the money and then pay. We're not gonna prepay, we're not gonna allocate $1.6 million towards this project. And hold that money, in advance. It can't be used in other areas, so it's gonna be a pay as you go. So they submit an invoice for $75,000, we're gonna submit it to the FAA. They pay a portion, the OTT pays a portion, and we just act as the middleman in regards to this. And again, the airport is gonna be, the capital improvement gonna be a little over $1.6 million. That is gonna be fully funded by state and federal dollars. There's no matching or anything.
And I would like to add to that, that this resolution actually is kind of two different items within. One is where we want to advertise to be a permanent drainage and utility relocation project. And that particular project, I think is right around $322,000. We'll be using infrastructure money, infrastructure bill money. And then we also have the capital improvement plan, which lays out a 5-year plan that the FAA has approved with us that we see as potential projects. They're not guaranteed that we will do them. And based on whether or not the FAA decides they can fund it. So if they can fund it, then we'll go ahead and proceed with it. Basically, we're just approving this plan, sending it to the FAA, just so they can have them. There's no anything in that plan that says we have to do those projects. The only one that we're kind of in right now is just the drainage and utility. And that's also been funded. So the FAA has the money. Once we apply for it and send them the invoices, they reimburse us.
Councilman Dolan? Okay,
Yes.
what, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name is Brent Elton.
Okay, yeah. I've seen your name a lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen, the $1.693 million,
Yes, sir.
that money is to be spent over the 5-year period?
Correct. That's planned over the
Right.
5-year period. But none of that money is set in stone.
Right.
So, like, as I said, those projects are optional. We can choose not to do them. But that's where the FAA wants us to put the money that they want to give to us.
Right. So again, that number is not, I understand that number is not a binding number, right?
No, sir.
So it could be anywhere from 0 to that number
It could be more than that.
or more.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Well, it's gonna be the initial 300.
The $322,000 for the drainage and utility relocation.
They're gonna bury the utility line and, improve that drainage,
Yeah, from the terminal building
Right.
to allow water to flow out. 'Cause right now, when we do get a good rain, we just have a swamp sitting in between the terminal building and the airport.
If you will,
Yes.
I was hearing a few voices, so I want to make sure
Yes, sir.
that I understand, what you were saying, correctly.
Yes, sir.
Whatever those last couple of statements, can you?
I said, you said 0 to 6 million. I was like, it's gonna be not 0, but at least 320.
Yeah, start
Right.
there, and can you finish what you were saying after that? I wanna make sure I understand what you were saying, because again, there were a couple of people kind of talking, I wanna make sure I hear.
No, what I'm saying, I was just correcting that point. It's not gonna be zero. So it'll be 320, let's say 320,000 up to, could be more than 1.6.
Right.
Depending on if, we engage in those projects. Because again, it's just a, capital improvement plan right now. These numbers can change. And the engineer has said as much, but, he requested that the city approve the plan. Because again, this, if we do the projects, this is 100% funded by the FAA.
Right.
So I guess the only thing that will probably prevent us from doing it is if they don't give us the money. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Okay, and lastly, you were talking about burying some lines.
Yeah. That was you want to talk, that's a.
I can. So we have a utility line running from the community hangar to the electrical vault.
Uh-huh.
And the area where we're doing the drainage is right where those electrical lines run above ground.
Uh-huh.
And in the future, one of our projects that we have on that 5-year CIP is to actually connect the taxi lane all the way up to the ramp. And so to do that, we would need to put those utilities underground. So this is going to facilitate another step towards another project that we have on the fund. And so that will actually improve our chances of getting that fund by burying the utilities now. And we're also going to build in, say, the FAA suggested we should put in additional conduits, just in the event that we have any expansion in infrastructure in the future. Those conduits already there, they can be utilized to get utilities across that.
Yeah, I just asked for, well, is Miss, Madam Pro Tem, she gone, is she?
She went.
If members have another question, I just ask for adoption of the resolution, may I ask for a roll call? Is there a motion?
Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Angela Tappan, District A,
Yes.
Mr. Henry Dolan, District B,
Yeah.
Mr. James Green, District C.
Yes.
Mr. Derek Green, District D,
Yes.
and Mr. Howard Locke, District E.
Mayor, council, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Move to find introduction of ordinance 26-4298.
This is the ordinance that continues your solar farm moratorium indefinitely. It is legal to continue that indefinitely in state law, like I said, search does. This is actual moratorium y'all have before. This puts it back in place and continues it indefinitely.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to look at the first moratorium.
It tracks the same.
What is this? What is it? What is it? Michelle, I asked you. If you read back the phone.
I asked you the last time, check and say it. So, I just want to know, could we do it? I didn't know you was gonna put it, but you actually was gonna go out and rewrite one, but what I was saying is, I just want to know, could we do it?
You can.
But based on, I just want Joe, legal opinion, say he's gonna get back with me, and we got to talking in the last meeting, you forgot to get back with me, I guess you really put it back on here, but I think that we still like under court order, but I want you to check on it for me, see, just in case we.
We have both of them out here now. We tabled the other one indefinitely, and now we have this one out there, so if there's ever a decision of which way it wants to go, we'll advertise it, we'll be able to go.
And I think since Mr. Locke ain't here, because we talked about this, we should wait till the regular, I think we should table it until the regular meeting.
I just have to introduce it, so we still have an option here. But whatever the council's pleasure is, it's y'all's vote, I just drafted it. But it is just a function.
However, but I make a motion that we table it.
Table this.
Motion and second.
Motion second. All in favor? Any opposed? Roll.
Table to the next meeting.
President council, I'm just one person, indefinite, but the next meeting don't, and this definitely.
I can bring it on next meeting. It's just table. We have regular scheduled meetings, so it'll fly there.
You might wanna put,
All right. Table to the next meeting. Let's get, ordinance 26-4299.
This is an ordinance, so included in your packet is this ordinance. This is a law change that happened in 2026, goes effective January 1, 2027. If you look to the last pages, and this is just for introduction, this page spells out the changes that came through the 26 regular session. It's Act 866. I've talked with the marshal's office for those. These are all the duties the marshal's office had by law. To give you some history on our marshal's office, the city court and the marshal's office was created by the same statute, which is the state law, not our charter, not our ordinances. If you actually go through our court ordinances, there's no ordinances related to the city marshal. That said, that's because her duties came by operation of state law, which gave all the duties for a city marshal. In 2026, this last session, Act 866 said in municipalities and places where the population is less than 40,000, the marshal has the duty to basically do in-court functions, but anything that was the other duties like going outside to serve paperwork, make arrests, do all those other things that we had the marshals doing, the governing authority would have to expressly allow them to do those duties. So this is here to formally bring to our ordinances the express authority for the marshal to continue to do what she's always done.
So, this on behalf of, dealing with city court, right?
Correct. So this is in dealing with city court, dealing with all of them, correct? It's just a continuation of the duties they did before.
Councilman.
Yes, now, Mr. Jones, you said that this was enacted by law, right?
Correct.
Okay, so why do we need to do an ordinance?
Because
The law is already in place.
Because the law that's currently in place that gives her those powers, in January of 2027, January 1st, 2027, the law says unless she has an ordinance on the books of the municipality, that those powers, so it would reduce down, significantly reduce down the current powers of marshal, unless there was an ordinance that allowed them to continue to do those powers that the state wanted.
Is this new law giving her office extra powers?
This new law, it just continues the same powers that they had before.
So this is nothing that she has not been doing.
It says continue. I just want to get in front of it before we got to January where we have budgets.
And if I may add, it will be, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a projection, but it should have a fiscal note on that. I may put some numbers together, just look at the history of, the, court when it comes to the administration of that, but it will be a fiscal note. So that's funding there. that Potentially be generated.
Billy?
Mr. Jones, listen, this ordinance right now, the marshal's office is sits under the city court, right?
They sit next to each other. Technically, the marshal's office is a subdivision of the city. They sit like brother and sister next to each other. They work together, but not as parent or child. It's more they're brother, sister together.
Okay, but most of its functions.
The majority,
from-
the majority of the functions that are provided in state law, which is where the marshal's duties come from, not from the city. They come from state
I
law.
understand that.
Encompass dealings with the court and court process and carrying out the orders of the court and all of those things.
Right.
That's the majority of it. The continuation of those duties is one of the things that state law currently gives them power to do that. Unless expressly granted power, they can't go out and even carry out some of those functions of court. They're basically just relegated to security.
So again, you're saying nothing that the marshal's office is doing right now is going to be changed. But again, once this ordinance is enacted, if it's enacted, then there should be some things that will change, should it not?
Well, it gives them all the authority that they currently have right now. It just, state law is lapsing and no longer giving it to them. They're allowing the local governments to decide how much of it to give to them. The state law previously did give to them.
And there's a physical note that's going to be attached to that. I don't know, I want to reiterate that.
Again, if I may, and this question, can we ask that if the marshal, city marshal, can she come up and speak about it? Because what I'm trying to understand is what is their office?
I make a motion that we just table this until the regular meeting, Mr. Doty. I think that,
Well, let me-
it's coming up.
Okay, let me finish my question. And again, the reason why I asked the question is if there's things going on in the office, then again, the person that's holding the office, asking if they can give their representation of what this is, what it's for.
Correct. This was built in consideration with the marshal's office, speaking with the marshal with regards to this. That if their office was going to operate as they have operated, this is what this board would have to bring, this board would have to pass it. Hence why it came through me to do that. This is the same exact. Not passing this would substantially alter the current status of what the marshal's office is. This keeps the status quo of the marshal's office duties.
And again, I know that the council is gonna entertain tabling, but this is just for introduction. If you allow just the introduction, that's the first step. And that if the council decides to take that up, then, there won't be a lag. But again, I want to emphasize that there's a fiscal note attached to this that could potentially, have budget ramifications that I think the city would, welcome. So leave it at that.
Point of information, Mr. Jones. It's count. Going back to that word, that key word, governing authority. They was trying to make a distinction, and you know, they was, so. Phrase, though, that phrase popped up.
Yeah, government authority always is it is always it means the entirety of your city government. It means your legislative and your executive body. The mayor can't veto, can't set lots of voice ordinance, things like that. Mayor puts it forth.
Okay, but the mayor don't get a vote until he can veto it. But then we take a report to override the mayor's veto. I've got to see what it is, and I've got to go back and look at the charter. But that's where I want to move back to that key phrase that you use.
So the government authority underneath that one, that ordinance, that 2-22, that is a watering down of what the charter requirement is, so it's in conflict.
I'm not referring nothing back to, I'm just going back to.
Yeah, it depends on how it works. Through ordinances, they have their exercise is veto. Through resolution power, it's their agreement with and vote in the resolution. When you talk about whole government authorities,
And that's what I was trying to get you, and that's.
depends on the vehicle it comes. But yes, you're correct. Whatever vehicle the instrument gets here by is how it plays out differently.
But the ordinance is law. Resolution is like it's like a gentleman's agreement kind of sort.
It's kind of like, please see my previous email.
Right. Yeah. This is law, so.
No, so again, man, I just request that the council allow for introduction, because there's no action that needs to be taken, just so the initial step can be had, and then all the questions, again, like you have, Mr. Doty, can be taken up, during that process if the council decides to move forward, but.
I think Mr. Smith would probably discuss the rest of the financial.
Right, and that we'll talk about it more appropriately, but there is a fiscal note attached to it, and I just can't reiterate that more. I just can't, so, that's my request, that on behalf of administration is allowed.
I just had one more, just a point of information. Because I know you said it was no new services, but I see that section 21.3 says probation supervision, establishment of probation supervision. So that's a new service, right?
Well, I think I left the term in there. No, the marshal's office throughout history has in various times provided those services for supervision.
And this marshal's office done?
I don't know. You're asking me historically, what have they done?
Yeah, just sometime in the past, that's this marshal's office.
I would, yeah.
And I don't think just during this term, I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yes. That's on and off the influx of the office. They have provided those services.
Again, I'm making motion to table.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good table until. It's, okay, I'll be coming to you to make, okay.
Mayor, that's on there.
Yes.
Before we adjourn, can I ask you all about the statement, below number 6, where it says item numbers are simple categories? Can you explain what that means, please? Right under adjourn number 6.
Yeah, so this comes from the regular meeting. It's a general provision on there when we have the regular meeting. There's a whole bunch of parts on there, but there's not anything underneath them. Those are
Wait a
placeholders.
minute, Mr. John,
So this comes from the regular meeting agenda. Whenever we have regular items on there, like planning, zoning, business, but there's none underneath it.
Right.
There was always, we had questions from the public for, hey, are we doing anything to meet that? Because we don't have anything listed. So that just tells you, if there's nothing listed, we're not transacting business. Unless there's a support, we're not doing any business. But it helps hold the place on there so that we know throughout history, this number is always that high.
Yeah, that was the first time. I've only been on there, but I definitely noticed it.
Can I get a, motion, John? Can I get a second? All in favor? Any opposed?